What's up, everybody? Welcome to Geeks Around. My name is Deanna Jackson, your executive producer. Our regular host, Matt Moore, couldn't be here today, so I'm subbing for him. That's all good. We are here to discuss episode 104 of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. I Spy. This one should be fun, as I actually enjoyed this episode a lot. Joining me here, it's we only have the one guest today, but that's all good. We're going to make this work anyway. Isaiah Mullins, what's going on, brother?
I'm great, sir. How about you?
Another beautiful day in my neighborhood, especially after this episode. It's I have to be honest, as much as I've been enjoying Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. up to this point, because I just love pretty much anything that Joss Whedon does. The show so far kind of seemed to lack a focus. It's there wasn't really anything. It seemed like more just, okay, this week this thing is happening. I mean, first you had, of course, the pilot where you introduced everyone, and then you're kind of, everyone's filling each other out the second episode. Not like that. And then the third episode was kind of,
I was the same way, too. I'm the same with episodes, and this one right here was my personal favorite.
Agreed. Yeah, this episode we started finally seeing an overarching plot line to this season. So for the first time, I'm actually really looking forward to what happens next week. But I'm skipping way ahead. It's we got to talk about the events of this thing. All right, so we start off as usual, and another location for the teaser and seeing what's going on. We were where Stockholm, Switzerland is where the show picked up this week.
Yeah.
Where we had a large number of people wearing suits and red masks and hats.
I thought it was a part of I thought we all thought it was a part of an evil organization or something like that. But later on, when it goes down to it, it's oh, really? But let's not get to that right now. Let's talk about the whole first scene of it.
Yeah, it's I honestly, I was right there with you. It's I thought they were gonna start, popping some shit off.
Right.
That's kind of where I was coming from on this one. It's I really thought it's oh damn, what's in those briefcases? They're gonna go blow some shit up. What's the deal here? What the hell's going on? But they were tailed the entire time by someone else. So sort of an innocuous looking woman. Didn't really understand the big deal about her. It's I thought at first she was kind of seeing that something was wrong, was trying to investigate or something like that, but no, it's in this one, she was actually the bad guy. It's apparently it's what was actually going on here is that you had they were trying to move some diamonds. There was only one briefcase out of all of these people wearing exactly identical outfits with briefcases handcuffed to them that had the diamonds, and she was somehow able to tell which one it was. No, actually, that's pretty smart.
It's smart, but in the long term of things, you kind of made your whole valuable merchandise kind of a target. I mean, if you take out one of them, the other cases still be fine. But however, it gives people more incentive. Okay, the next one. But that's just me being nitpicking. But I agree with you.
But they all took separate paths, though. It's they weren't all going to the same place. That was the thing that made this plan brilliant. It's you have one person that actually had the diamonds. No one knew who exactly it was. They were all wearing the exact same thing, so absolutely no distinguishing characteristics. They all looked identical, going all different places, and exactly one of them had the goods. This is a plan that should have worked. It is actually it's a version of how they actually do transfer large amounts of diamonds.
Right.
This is, I mean, they don't go around wearing masks or anything like that, but that is actually how it's done with multiple shipments and whatnot, and no one knowing which one is the real one.
I can see that happening, because if it's something valuable, you better do every precaution, outthink the competition or someone out there trying to get it. So I still overall, I think that was still a good plan for the bankers.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, particularly given it's very much based in reality, because that's how it's done.
Right.
She was able to figure out. I mean, not even figure out. She just seemed to know. I thought there was some sort of ESP going on where she just somehow was able to know what's going on here.
I thought that as well. Interesting. But again, they kind of disprove our theory in that one.
Yeah, definitely. It's okay. So switching over to that is this person whose name in the show was Akila Amador. That sounds right.
Yeah, let's call her Akila. We ain't going the whole way 9 yards. Let's say Akila.
Yeah, played by Pascal Armand. It was it was really cool to see her.
Yeah, she
doing
was.
some
She really
things.
she made the episode for me. Like, she was by far my favorite character to watch. Like, it was. This is when my thing. It's like I actually liked her because she gave us emotion. She gave us more compelling situations, unlike the other episodes with all these other villains. So I
Hmm.
kind of liked her more, and I liked her more in the cast at that time. Like, okay, I like her a lot. I wish I
Yeah,
could see more of her.
you want to know some other fun things she's done? Is like, I mean, this is probably the first time that you've seen her, but you might have heard her voice before. She's done
What?
voice work for both Grand Theft Auto 4 and
What?
more importantly, where I recognized her voice from was from Grand Theft Auto Liberty City Stories. She was one of the DJs
Oh.
on the reggae station in Liberty City Stories. I recognized her
Oh.
voice the second she talked. I was like, no way, that's her. I actually paused the episode right there and Googled it just to make sure that I wasn't tripping. And yep, she's exactly who I thought she
Wow.
was.
Wow, that's pretty amazing.
So I thought that was cool. It's like I never knew what she looked like before, and it's like, and I just love that radio station, and y'all can tell, like viewers, I got Grand Theft Auto on the brain. If I wasn't here hosting this, I would be playing Grand Theft Auto Online right now, and that's just kind of where I'm at.
Right, right.
But it was really cool to see her on the show, and I do hope that we end up seeing a lot more of her.
Yeah. Same with a lot of characters who actually brought more interesting character development for the show. Like the first guy, like the guy on the pilot. I wish we can see more of him as well.
Wait, who?
I forgot his name. Even the pilot, the guy who had the extremist, a failed extremist program in him. I want to see more of him as well, but that's a different case.
Oh yeah, it's like I forget his character's name, but it's like
Yeah,
obviously any Wheatonverse fan knows that's J. August Richards, and it's always a pleasure to see him in pretty much anything. I
right,
would
right.
love it if we were able to see more of him in this particular case as well. All right, so back on the bus is like you kind of have Sky doing her normal thing, being separate from everyone else. There, I honestly feel that okay, out of the Shield agents that are a part of this core team, you've got half the team that is not weapons trained or cannot handle themselves in the field whatsoever, and it's like I don't know. It's like for me that seems like a little much. That's something I've actually thought since the pilot, and in this episode, it actually came back to bite them. It's like I mean, because in her case, it was funny. It's like I mean, they're going after Aquila, and the three people with no training whatsoever are all left together, and of course, those are the people that Aquila targets in order to get out of there.
Yeah, like that's kind of stupid because she was thinking 10 steps ahead of everyone else. Like, huh,
Mm-hmm.
weird. You let them alone, knowing whatever. But yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, and this guy has the gun. She's like, okay, I'm going to turn off the safety, and she clicks the button, and yeah, that was kind of the clip release. So okay,
Yeah.
she successfully ejected the cartridge, which in a situation such as the one that she was in is the exact last thing you'd want to do. I mean, I did think it
Right.
was funny. I thought it was
Yeah.
funny, but it just drives the point home that I'm still trying to figure out exactly why I have no business. I have no idea why she's there. It's like, yes, I get that
Yeah.
she's the computer person, but
The hacker and all that nonsense, but
yeah,
it's just that I understand it too, and I didn't. And I thought this thing was funny, but at the same time, I kind of it got me it got me it got on my nerves a little bit more because okay, you did it in the wrong moment in the wrong time. If it was like you were surrounded by a bunch of guys and you dropped your gun, that'd be funny. I mean, I get that point, but however, it was some of the life and death situation. Like you really messed up the gun. Are you serious? But I was like, oh my god, can you give her some weird weapons training instead of not Ward because he's doing a shitty job.
no, well, no. Warren is okay in what he does. Like, I mean, I understand
Yeah.
his place there, and I even kind of understand. It's like I see where they're going with him and Skies. Like, I mean,
Yeah,
I get that,
we
but
all
just
call it.
having three people on the team that can't fight seems to be a little bit excessive. It's like, I mean, I totally understand the whole, okay, you have the geeky person that can't fight and whatnot, but normally that's just, that's just like one person, not three separate people.
Right, and plus those two people been on the shield for a long time. It's like no one taught them any weapons training or hand to hand combat training or anything. They've been
Exactly.
apart for forever. Like okay, whatever. I'm like ducks. Have fun.
Yeah, that was just pretty weird. But the whole reason the situation happened is because Aquila was someone that was very important to Agent Coulson personally, a former protege who he previously thought was pretty much dead, and now he sees is very much alive thanks to the power of Instagram. Now, I thought
Right.
that was actually pretty clever.
Yeah, because that is possible, and pretty much law enforcement do that too. It's like they do use social networks and all that stuff to track down people or solve a mystery now and then. So I really like that too. Like they use something of a real world technology to solve a case for them. So that was really good.
Yeah, I did enjoy that. But it's like, so we have this situation here where Coulson and Melinda are actually kind of at odds here because Coulson just kind of wants to handle this all themselves because he more wants to help Aquila than stop her, while Melinda really is not interested in playing that particular game. It's like she views Aquila as a weapon and wants her taken out, and that very much brings them at odds in this episode, which actually I kind of liked.
Same here. Because it was like we don't get that much interaction with these two that much in these episodes, so it was really nice to see them go at each other over a subject that's really sensitive, but also could be life threatening for a lot of people. So that was really nice. I like to see that more often.
hmm and plus, you have the dynamic. It's like I was afraid this thing. It's like with Coulson being there, it would be pretty much just everyone just okay. Coulson, let's do this. We're all gonna go do that. I like seeing that they have their own views and their own opinions, and they'll clash when those things mix the wrong way.
Right, and plus this episode's tone was much different from earlier episodes. It was more darker and more grittier, which I did like the most about this episode. Like it got a little bit more serious, less joking. They pulled that back a little bit, and got to more serious meat, which was good.
Agreed. I think they finally found the right balance because that was one of my issues with the earlier episodes as well. That there was a little bit too much comedy in there. Where I mean, even as I'm watching it, it's like I'm not taking anything seriously. It's like I mean, yes, there's people with guns and whatnot. No one's really in danger or anything because this show there's too much humor in it. This episode, I think, was their first step in solving that problem, and it's something that I hope to see continue in the future.
See, same here, same here. I want to see more of that more darker tone than just having this lies around, everyone's gonna be okay nonsense situation. Like, give me more of some of that hard missions that might get people might be killed in. Give me some of that.
Mhm. Yeah, a little bit more danger, a little bit more taking everything seriously.
Right.
And they definitely took this one serious. It's like I mean, Melissa broke orders to to show up in here.
Yeah. Which I did. Oh, you're muted. Oh, you I like that a lot too because it actually shows someone disobeying an order within the
hmm
group, and she's doing things on her own record, which I did like that a lot more than I thought. Like, that is really interesting. She took a broad approach and defied the order just to get this person pretty much off the streets.
hmm Yeah, it's like, and I actually like this. Like, they had a pretty epic fight scene in this. It's like, I mean, it didn't last that long, but
Right,
I really really liked it. It's like I
right,
like
right.
the choreography and everything. And I thought that was very well done.
And the
Where
CGI. Oh, you go ahead.
no, what were you gonna say?
I was saying the CGI work and and computer images was really good in this episode. Really, really good. About the eye, how she was. Well, I can't say everything else, but how everything else was working. I can't say everything else because
No, 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 no. Go for it because this is
oh
where we discover is like I mean that unlike what I was thinking like earlier in the episode, her this ability she had nothing to do with telepathy or anything like that, and had everything to do with technology.
right,
As her right eye was actually an artificial eye, a very very advanced camera. And not only was it a camera, it's like I mean that was one thing, seeing that she was some sort of cyborg. The other big news in this one is that she was actually being um, controlled isn't the right word, but
being
being given orders and having to face consequences if she didn't follow those orders through this thing.
like she was like a Terminator, but in a more human basis. I thought like okay, she got technology, but we already know she's a skilled agent who can pretty much do anything she wants, just like May and Coulson. So adding a little technology, not overpowering her skills, is actually what balanced out her character a lot.
Yeah, there was some balance in there, but it's like you kind of at that point started feeling sorry for her because you
Right.
understand that she is. It's not that this is not something that she wanted. She didn't choose this; it was chosen for her, and she's being put into this situation based off of the will of some still unknown person or group
Right.
or organization or something like that. Who, I mean, come on, can this be anyone but Hydra? I mean, seriously,
Yeah, can we
it's
just say
it's
Hydra?
it's gotta be.
Yeah, or Hammer or someone. But yeah, speaking of that moment when she was talking about how she was forced to do this, she gave us an awesome scene with Coulson and her having that conversation, how she got into the situation. And this is where, for my book, I saw more emotion and more character development for Coulson, how he actually grew than most people thought he did. Like he's more caring, he's more relaxed for his team instead of just forcing and pushing them. Because she can tell like, oh, he's different. He's not different. He's different from the last time I saw him. Like, okay, so we got different elements going on with Coulson, and we got some different elements with the Akila as well. So it was really interesting scene with them too.
Absolutely agreed. It's like now, what did you think of the part of this where Ward kind of had to go in as Aquila, while Fitzsimmons was off trying to get the eye out before, bang.
Well, I thought it was kind of silly at best. But when I watched it, like all roll out in front of me, it was like, okay, that's really funny, and plus it makes the believability even more stronger if that in that situation because it was funny in my book and how at the end the message on the eye, well, the glasses said seduce him it was like really it's like yeah seduce him. And that took me by surprise like okay.
Yeah,
But I like that mission scene. It was like a bit. It was I like that scene because it was like the best joke of the show, but also the humor and the action was still there. So I still liked it a lot.
well, I actually liked it for a separate reasons. Like to me, this is the first time where Sky has been actually useful in the field, other
Right.
than just getting kidnapped or getting hurt or something stupid happening to her. It's like I mean, she was actually very useful. Being the person in the car, running Ward, making sure he was okay, and then the most important part, being able to successfully extract him when shit got real.
Right. Right. That was really good. And how he was trying to flirt with the man, bromance, the security guard was funny. Like,
Yeah. Yeah. These two Scandinavian honeys. You know how that is. Dudes just sitting there.
right. Right. No. Okay. He's gonna say
It's like,
screw
all right,
this.
I
I'm
guess
just
I'm
gonna
gonna
take him
whoop
out
your
now.
ass then. Fuck it.
Right. That was a good scene.
Yeah. I thought that was hilarious. And again, just the right touches of humor in this episode. It's like I can't stress that enough.
Right.
If for those of you out there watching it, if you've seen like the earlier episodes of Shields and the excessive humor has turned you off, trust me on this one. Go back to it for episode 104, and I think that you'll find a drastically different experience.
Right. Right.
Drastically.
Yeah. But
I think it was done perfectly.
yeah. However, they still need to fix Fitz and Simmons' dialogue more and more, or something about them. There's something about this is me, but I really do hate them because
Seriously?
yes, because they talk about some science stuff that is
They're
science.
scientists. What else are they
I get
supposed to
that,
talk about? The
but
Lakers?
but I'm just saying like they could dial it back a little bit more, or someone like slow down on their humor or science talk a little bit, so we can actually understand what the fuck they're talking about. Because every time they keep talking or when you joke around, I just want them to shut up already. Like say something that actually makes sense. Like dumb it down for me because I'm stupid, but do something that's actually that makes words sense. Like stop doing this. Stop acting things so difficult to understand.
Well, I actually think that's kind of the point of it when they go off on that. It's like we're not supposed to understand because you see, like when they say the same shit around like Ward or whatnot, he doesn't understand, Sky doesn't understand, Coulson doesn't understand. They have to constantly tell them, hey, English.
Right, but they've been playing
I
that
think
joke.
our not understanding it is the entire point.
Yeah, but playing that joke over and over again, it kind of gets a little bit tiresome.
Well, I don't see it so much as a joke, so much as I see it as just that's how they are. It's like I would expect that to evolve a little bit over the course of the series, but not like a Sutton 180 rather.
Right, but unlike how we got a good bits with Ward and Sky and May and Coulson, I didn't see nothing really that interesting with Fitz and Sim. It was just like their plain old selves. They didn't give us no interesting developments or anything new for like that for them. It's like they're just there in the wind, a fart in
Well,
the wind.
On that, I will agree. I will absolutely agree to that. But do you feel that if some more story would have involved them, that it would have added something to this episode or taken it away?
Mm,
Because this was a fairly focused plot line this week.
right, right. I'm just saying, like,
So I honestly think that adding more fluff in there would have
I
taken
mean, like,
away from all the cool stuff that this episode did.
I mean, let me be more specific when I say this. When we saw May and Coulson go at it, that was really good. That was really good development and chemistry right there. I wanted something like not so like a big old force of a how can I say this barely? How can I, not like something that's forcing your face, but something like subtle, something that's like subtle that we can understand, or something that's easily to grasp by the audience. That's all I'm saying. Like, do something that's actually easy to understand, or actually know that something you having some development happening for you. Just all because I don't see nothing developing happening for them yet.
Right. I got you. So we'll have to just see what happens. Okay, but it's like ah, I gotta stop saying it. It's like the main mystery that I took away from this episode, which started really getting me curious about what happens in the following episodes, was who is the master controller.
Mm-hmm.
Now, Coulson they thought they had a lockdown on who the person that was controlling Aquila. Coulson got to him, and it turns out that this was just another kidnapped agent that was also being controlled and manipulated. And unfortunately, it's like by the time they figured that out, he unfortunately died. As a matter of fact, it was
Yeah,
him dying that helped them to figure it out.
you're like, oh, he did. Brain got blown up inside. Yeah, yeah.
hmm So I was like, there is a puppet master out there somewhere that now is like that we have to figure out. There's that, and it's like, I mean, let's not forget the entire purpose of this mission was to take a picture of some sort of what the hell was that? It looked like some sort of weird circuitry diagram or
It's like
something to me.
they said it was like alien. It was like alien talk or alien technology
Yeah.
writing there. Like it could be alien. It could be alien blueprints or anything like that. Like okay, it could be possible because Qatar. And I'm gonna say their name. Oh my God, Chikari. Chikari. Yeah. They talk about they have been in this universe before. Maybe they left some type of science technology or something here on Earth that the Swedish took, and they're trying to use it for their own benefits.
Yeah, or something. We honestly don't know at this point. It's like we have theories. It's like, I mean, I'm still holding out for Hydra or some other super group. It's like, I mean, you keep mentioning Hammer. It's like I've in the course of editing this show, it's like I've seen y'all mention Hammer a lot. I'm gonna say straight up, no, it's not. Can't be. That would
Hammer,
make no sense.
if it's Hammer, I get to do my dance. But again,
I think Hammer would be just a little bit too much for a TV audience. For,
mm,
for, for a TV audience that's not as well versed in the Marvel universe as the rest of us are. Hydra is something you could very easily introduce. Hammer, you really couldn't. Because come on, dude, Hammer doesn't even stand for anything.
true, but it's good. It's an acronym just like Shield. So hey,
Shield stands for something.
right. But Hammer doesn't have to mean nothing. It's like it's Hammer. Like who
Yeah.
cares? It's like a polar opposite from Shield. So
Yeah, and plus you'd have to look into. It's like, I mean, for those of you watching, it's like, I mean, you'll understand what I'm talking about when you look into the group and understand. I'm not going to get into it now. It'd be a lot for a TV audience to digest, especially just off the cuff like that.
yeah.
I could see maybe them being introduced in like the movie universe, maybe, but the TV universe, no.
That's why I never mentioned Thunderbolts because that's way too much there. Like they're overpowered if they face this team. The Thunderbolts are really badass.
Definitely. But those are the two major mysteries. Like, actually, it's like, I mean, we're about to wrap up, but we have Reggie joining us, so I'm gonna pull him in here right quick.
Can he
He's
hear
trying to
us?
get in for a minute.
Hey,
Right, so
folks. Didn't realize you guys are still on it.
oh yeah, actually we're kind of wrapping up. So it's like, I mean, you're coming in. It's like, let's go. Just go ahead and get your thoughts. This latest episode of Agents of Shield. What did you think of it?
I've mentioned it before. I still have a ton of problems with this show. I have the feeling that maybe they're building up to something, great, and it's going to be, the most awesome whatever, but I'm really finding it hard to get into the show. It feels real. It feels real like a studio approved show. You know, it feels if this was 1990 or something like that, I would be all over the show. But just I mean I don't want to try and say, oh well, because it's not Breaking Bad or it's not dark and crazy, that it's just there's a lot of things. The humor really, it feels like they're trying too hard.
Okay, but do you feel that the humor in this episode, it's like, because I honestly felt, because I've had a problem with the humor of the show too. I felt that in this latest episode that there was much more of a balance. It's like where it was much less focused on the humor, whereas like, I mean, it still did have definitely events that would cause a chuckle every now and again.
Mm-hmm.
But it's like I thought the balance was a lot better than it was previously.
Yeah, I could agree with that. I think my thing is it feels like actually, especially kind of with this episode, it feels like they want you to feel these certain things about these characters. They're really trying to push Coulson, is really all brokenhearted and messed up, that that he let this girl's life get jacked up and whatever, and it doesn't feel organic. It all feels forced, and I think that's one of the big problems that I have, just with in particular this episode, but with the show in general, is that I don't feel, it doesn't feel like it's organic, and it just feels like they're forced. I mean, I do like Coulson, I do like Fitzsimmons to an extent. Everybody else is kind of like I really, I don't. That a big sign is I don't know anybody else's names on the show. And,
Not even Melinda.
Wow.
The Calvary, she's awesome.
Yeah, see, that's another thing where I feel like it's like a studio show. It's like, once again with this episode, it's kind of like the classic cliche of rogue agent, and it's my fault they went rogue, and then you've got whatever badass chick, her whole thing. Oh, I don't want to go back in the field, but yet somehow I keep getting drawn back into the field, and it's like, really? Don't. I mean, we can convey that without the kind of say it out loud. Oh, well, I feel this way, so you should feel this way about me. And
well, I've actually kind of got a theory about that. It's like, I mean, I think what they were doing in some of the earlier episodes were really trying to hammer points home, because at that point they weren't sure if they had a full season.
Mm-hmm.
Right. They do now.
That's kind of crazy, but I'm gonna still keep watching it. I just kind of keep thinking, okay, Buffy, season 1 was rough, but the real big problem, the real thing that's just hard for me is like, even with Buffy, I could see little there, overall the season was kind of blah, but I saw the little sprinkles of greatness, and I'm not feeling
in
it.
the early episodes of Buffy.
Yeah, I'd have to go back and review it again, but I do remember there was at least a couple of episodes where, maybe not even the whole episode, but just like the humor, they sprinkled it in just kind of the right way, where I could see that it was building up to something. The show also kind of makes me think about like Arrow. Arrow, I like it, even though I feel like I shouldn't, and it's like, but it has some elements of it that are intriguing to me, and they're a little bit different than, kind of with having their little, dual stories. That's a little bit different. They're not, most other shows, haven't done that. So that's kind of enough. That's the little hook that kind of gets me. Okay, yeah, let me check it out. But what's I'm sure is probably going to happen is just now they have to kind of build the world and set everything up and get that foundation going, and then it'll I still have this feeling in the back of my mind that's going to be like Buffy, where as soon as season 2 kicks off, I mean they just hit the ground running, and then I'm all in.
No,
So
well, they have to anyways.
Mm-hmm.
When the first season always got the characters built up and everything, they got to use season 2 to actually launch on what they're going to do for the next couple of years, depending on how long they're going to last.
Yeah, I mean, I totally get that shows take a while to get their stride. It's just I so far I haven't seen that little sprinkle of greatness yet. Everything just feels very very safe and very by the numbers, and okay, this we have to have this kind of character type, and we have to have this kind of character, and they have to go through like already they've already had what are we 3-4 episodes in, and it's like they've already had okay, yeah, we had the rogue agent episode, we have the oh, I don't want to be a part of the team, but I'm part of the team. It's like they've had kind of those cookie cutter episodes already, and it's like we're just getting started. So maybe they're just maybe it's like, okay, let's get this out of the way, and then we can.
Well, yeah, it's like, I mean, when else are you going to do the cookie cutter episodes except at the beginning?
So
Yeah.
I don't know. I want to like it more than I do, and it's hard because everyone else is usually I'm kind of with everyone when they're like, oh yeah, this is a great show, and I can't, unfortunately I can't say
like,
that yet.
I wouldn't even say, it's like I would never say that even about as much as I'm enjoying this show. Is like I wouldn't call it a great show.
Yeah,
I would say it's a good show.
Yeah.
It's a good show. It's entertaining. It's like, I mean, I definitely see potential for greatness, but yeah, they're not there yet. It's like, but that's not what I was looking for. It's like even coming into this.
Has to be that one episode that shows why this show is amazing. You gotta be that one episode, which would be down the road maybe. They're gonna describe like the show is amazing, but again, we haven't. Well, this episode I've seen it, but I don't know about for you yet.
Yeah, it's like I've just seen in this episode. It's like I feel that the ball is finally starting to roll in the right direction, and the demographics is definitely responding to this one so far. It's like, I mean, from the pilot, the ratings have gone down, but that's kind of normal for any pilot. But this episode, they actually came up again in the ratings, 7.7 million strong. That ain't bad at all. It's actually pretty fucking good.
That's damn good, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, we'll see that, and I have my view. As much as it's nice to have these little things, please stop showing crap after the credits. Like, I don't know if there was something this week. My DVR picks and chooses when it wants to record everything, and I can't seem to set it to record past. So I don't know if there was something after the credits or not.
Yeah, there was a little something.
There was. It was interesting.
Yeah, it was kind of cute and funny. It's like, I don't know. I watch my shows on Hulu, so I don't mess around with it.
Is this on Hulu?
Yeah, everything is on Hulu.
It's an ABC show. Of course, it's on Hulu.
Oh, I didn't even know. I let my Hulu account lapse, but I'm gonna start it up again.
Knowing is half the battle.
G.I. Joe.
So the other kind of thing that I have with the show is I feel like they're still not sure. It's like, okay, well, we don't want this to be a show about superpower people and stuff like that, and I feel like they're really scared about having superpowered villains, but I guess they're building up to that. Or
there's a reason why for that, because again, I'm gonna say briefly, only heroes mythology, if you know what I mean. Heroes from NBC. That's why. Taking things slow instead of everything fast.
Yeah, that's kind of what I figured. I just like, yeah, they need to start coming with some more compelling villains. So far, it's like, we need a special team to take down this character. It doesn't really seem like it fits, but
Well, this episode to me was a huge step in the right direction by starting to have a clue of a more overarching plot line for
Right.
this season, like something for this team of Shield agents to really sink their teeth into, which until now I felt was seriously lacking. But at this point, it's like I'm very much looking forward to seeing where they go with this storyline in the next show. Anyone have any wild speculation on that point?
Hmm.
I've already said mine. It's like Hydra, which means it's not going to be Hydra because that's fucking obvious. But
well, I would say Coulson is not really Coulson. He is a cyborg. Mwah.
oh yeah, we actually forgot to talk about that where Aquila looked at him through her eye, and she saw something that was definitely not normal, and she was asking Linda about it. I was like, what the hell did y'all do to him?
Murray got that look like, I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah, he's probably a cyborg or a robot or something, and they transferred his consciousness and I don't know.
This is possible too.
That's I don't. That's one thing I'm kind of curious about is for those that follow the comics or whatever and all that stuff. If there's leanings of the show to kind of do some of the stuff out of comic books or whatever.
Wonder Man's thoughts went to Vision thanks to Ultron. So yeah, it can happen. It happened in the comic books once.
Yeah, that's kind of what I was thinking too. But it's like, well, would a TV audience accept that? I suppose we'll find out.
And then the other thing is I think it's too tasty a morsel to not set up things in the show that's going to play into the next Marvel movies. I would kind of be kind of happy, but kind of surprised if they just were like, okay, movie stuff is for the setting up stuff in the show for the movies. It's like they can have kind of those tie-ins, but I would be surprised if they don't have something in the show that you wouldn't like it when you watch the movies. You wouldn't get if you hadn't seen the show.
Well, it's like I could see them having some ties to it. I could definitely see.
I mean,
that.
I could see the ties.
I wouldn't see anything like from the show directly leading into something from the movie, though. That I honestly wouldn't say.
Yeah. So
because then you're forcing a predominantly movie audience to say it's like, oh, well, if you didn't watch 22 hours of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., you're not going to know what the fuck's happening in our movie.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
That's not realistic. That's just not going to happen. It's like, I mean,
that's dumb marketing.
I mean, I would absolutely expect there to be some shades of things in the movie. It's like I look at the TV universe and the movie universe as being parallels. Like, I mean, yeah, I mean, we've already seen shades. It's like they've mentioned things that happen in the Avengers in the show, and I'm sure, and the upcoming movies as they come out, they'll probably talk about some things that would have happened in Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. Nothing that will be an overarching part of the story, but just something that for fans of the complete universe, both the film universe and the TV universe, there'll be kind of things, wink, wink, nod, nod kind of things.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
That I would expect.
Mm-hmm.
But like something more overarching than that, nah. That would be dumb, actually.
Bad marketing.
That would be dumb.
I don't really have much in the wild speculation. I figure they've got to squeeze at least one more movie cameo. I was really surprised by Mr. Sam Jackson rearing his head around there.
That's perfectly timed, though.
Especially so early. I figured they were going to kind of go with the Smallville route of really staying away from kind of the whatever staples of the whole group or whatnot. So, but I figure that they'll have at least one more super cameo. As we go along before too long.
I actually hope they don't. I hope they hold off on that for quite some time.
Yeah, save it for the big stuff.
This show needs to build itself up.
Right.
Like, if all this becomes is the Avenger cameo show, and that's the only time people are going to watch it.
Well, I know that they're not gonna. I know that they're not gonna go berserk with it, but I suspect that especially if all these people are watching the show and stuff now. I'm sure they're getting the letters about, hey, why, we want to see whatever person, at least once. So I'm sure if my feelings about this is very kind of studio driven, at least for this season, then they'll have to cave. They'll cave at least once before this season's over, and then if they do it enough times this season, then they can go, okay, for the next seasons we don't have to do it anymore because we blew our load and now we can move on. So.
Mm-hmm. All right, well, I'm going to go ahead and wrap this up for this week. It's been our Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. discussion for episode 104. Your regular host, Matt Moore, will probably be back next week. If not, expect to see my ugly mug again. You can check out this continued season of discussions in addition to all of our other discussions that we have. This year we're doing also American Horror Story Coven by associate host Todd Grundle, who's also doing episodes for The Blacklist. Yours truly will be helming the discussions for The Walking Dead. And we have a lot of really, really great stuff. You can check us out on geeksoftheround.com or on our YouTube channel, youtube.com/geeksoftheround. If you have anything for us, you can shoot us an email, geeksoftheround@gmail.com. We encourage you also to join the Geeks of the Round community. You'll find the link down in the description. My name is Deanna Jackson. We will see you next week.